Hey, what it do once again. It is your boy, KQKC Boxing Network, and I am grinding with breaking news. First of all, welcome to Boxing Updates. I am your host, KQKC, and this is breaking news. We are talking about none other than former champion, former multi-division champion, Adrien "The Problem" Broner. He has been jailed once again for probation violation. They do not play in certain states, and he is in the state of Ohio. Now, Illinois, we are a little bit relaxed on certain probation violations. Now, let's get into the video. According to Cleveland judge in the Cleveland through 4 division world champion, Adrien Broner, in jail for a probation violation. The Cleveland judge put Adrien Broner in jail for the probation violation. Now, during a Tuesday hearing, the judge determined that Broner failed to enroll, now listen at this, in an alcohol treatment program as part of his court order probation for assaulting a woman at a nightclub. Let me stop right there. Adrien Broner has been having problems with drinking for a long time. Guys that are around you are not your friends. Well, I know, I get it. We heard this speech before. He should know better. But you have to understand, a young man of this mentality who believes that everybody in the world, including Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather, owe him nothing but riches and fame. But no, they don't. You have to actually do something to get something. You cannot find the answer at the bottom of that bottle. We have seen Adrien Broner on tapes getting drunk and having accidents, police pulling him over, taking him to jail, him knocking people out on the Sunset Strip. I mean, I could go on and on with alcohol. Now, let me repeat that. With just alcohol. Now, Broner legal troubles don't end there. He has to appear at another hearing on October the 26th in the same fucking courtroom. What is wrong with you, Adrien Broner? You had a very talented young man in Adrien Broner, a very talented boxer. At 140, he was a monster. Now, of course, he was dubbed the next Floyd Mayweather. Now, if I had a quarter every time I heard that, I would be rich. But in Adrien Broner case, it was actually true. He mimicked him very well. He sat on the stool when trainer got through talking to him like Floyd do, wait on the bell to ring. Then he jump up when the bell ring and go box. And also he tries to do the shoulder roll, which he cannot do like Floyd. Floyd didn't invent that, but he perfected that. Now, back to October the 26th in the same courtroom. Now, this is where another judge will decide whether to hold him in contempt for failing to cooperate with a civil lawsuit the woman filed against him. Now, I love my sisters. Oh, Lord, I do. The darker the berry, the sweet the juice. And that's no lie. I love dark-skinned women. But a woman would get your ass in trouble. If you don't use your common sense, if you don't push her to the edge, if you don't initiate a lot of things. In this day and age, you got to record, you got to tape every incident or negative energy that you all both have. You got to start using your brain, young brother. Please, you got to start using your brain and not your fists and not your intimidation of words. Now, as I move on, now, of course, this judge will decide his civil lawsuit that the young lady filed against him. Now, in that case, an arrest warrant was issued for Adrien Broner. Failed to show up for his deposition. And that was this summer. He was absent at a contempt hearing and failed to cooperate with discovery orders. Adrien Broner, the 32-year-old fighter, was recently arrested back in Kentucky over bench warrants in each case. In the criminal action, the woman accused Broner of forcibly kissing her at a Cleveland nightclub in 2018. He faced several felony charges, but ultimately pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of assault and received probation. Keep in mind, young brothers, famous boxers, famous athletes, famous basketball, NFL, NBA, the MLB. You are a target. You are a target financially, and also you are a target into getting in trouble in the clubs or wherever you go. Hell, at your local grocery store, you are a target. When they see celebrity, they see dollar signs. If you knock a fly off a lady's shoulder, she gonna say you hit her, and your ass will get sued, and you will pay. Don't be in Atlanta, Georgia. They don't like men at all. Men always get judgments against them. Oh, I know. I did my research, and I'm doing it now. I told you all, I'm the YouTube news, and I told y'all, respect me, respect what I do. Show your love for what I do. Show your love the hard work I do. And right now, Adrien Broner is falling into that same old trap. And they is trapping his ass. They're going to trap this man so bad that he's going to be broke. Then Floyd might have to be forced to hire him as a security or something like that. If Floyd hire him. Because now Floyd is looking down on him, really looking down on him. And saying, see, I got wise, you didn't. But remember, people, Adrien Broner's not a bad guy. He's not a bad fighter. He made bad decisions. Now, in 2020, he was sent to jail 7 days for a probation violation because police arrested him on a DUI charge in Florida. This motherfucker is in trouble in every state he had been in. Stay your ass out in the Republican states. Republican states are harsher on black men, young black men, than they are on Caucasian men. Let's just say these are Donald Trump people. Now, you know, and I'm talking to my subscribers, you know that we have two strikes against us. One, we are a male, and number two, we are black. Those are the two strikes that we have against us. We only have one strike that we have to do. I won't say a strike, but it's only one thing we have to do in this life, and that's stay black and die. Now, of course, I'm going to move on. Now, the woman will hire a lawyer and filed a civil suit against Adrien Broner, who never showed up to any of the proceedings or hire a lawyer to defend his interests. See, Adrien Broner believes that his shit really don't stink. He believes his shit smells just like roses. Well, I'm going to tell you, this white man finna show you. This white judge, or black, it don't matter. It's the white man's system, and he's going to show you. You are not above the law. We're going to make an example out of you. All these misdemeanors, all these federal and state court charges, they all going to be running concurrently. Now, for people that haven't been to the penal institution, let me explain it to you. I hope it haven't changed since 90. But in my day, when I went to the Illinois penitentiary or correctional facility, they can run your cases concurrently. In other words, we call it running wild. All right? That means that once you get through with one case, they can make you start another one. When you get through with that case, they can make you start another one. Now they can put them all together and say, okay, I tell you what. Each of them, let's say, is 10 years. Okay? Let's say he got 3 cases. All right? Which I think he does, or more. And that's 30 years, right? 10 years each. Well, they have a choice. They can run a while. That means you do 10 years, then you go do another 10 and another 10. Or they can settle and say, hey, you know what? We're just going to let him do 15 years for all of them and go home. Now, of course, if you haven't finished high school, he get school good time. If you keep his nose clean, which they probably put him in PC, which is protected custody, then he get good time for staying his ass out of trouble. Then that's more shade off his jail sentence. But all in all, we're going to talk about this because it's a deeper situation in Adrien Broner's life. Now, just because you came from the streets, that don't mean a damn thing. I came from the streets. I came from the inner city. I'm a product of the inner city. I gang banged. I came from the same corner that they started the gangster disciples and the black disciples. And they merged together to make it the Black Gangster Disciple Nation, baby. That's when Larry Hoover took over and David Barksdale was killed. Now, David Barksdale, of course, was over the black disciples in the GDs, which ran by Larry Hoover. So Larry Hoover took over that right there on 68th and Peoria. You better look your facts up. KQKC was right there. Now, of course, Larry Hoover, these young boys don't even know who he is. And he's the one that started this whole thing. The Star of David was a representative of the Star. Just like Jeff Ford. The 5-point star: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You better ask somebody. You better ask somebody. Adrien Broner. The woman was able to receive a default judgment because he didn't show up for court. See, when you don't show up for court, the judge said, okay, that's the third time. That's the second time he didn't show up. All right? Okay. The judgment is defaulted and you win. You get a damage of $800,000 in damages. And that's what she got. $800,000 in damages. Broner has yet to pay and is now appealing the decision to the 8th District Court of Appeals. He don't have a prayer in hell. He doesn't have a prayer in hell. He's going to start paying up, or he's going to have to take some time off and do his time in the state penitentiary, just like Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn did 20 goddamn years. Keep it up, Adrien. Keep it up, Mr. Broner. Mr. Can Man. Anybody can get it. Okay, that includes the goddamn federal judge. That includes the state judge. That includes the women that you assaulted. When a woman says no, dumbass, that means no. That's one thing I'm going to tell you. In jail, in the federal penitentiary, in the state penitentiary, they don't like a rapist. They don't like a man that beats or take advantage of a woman, because, see, every man in there got a woman on the outside. Every man in there got a mama, got an auntie, got a sister. Know your history if you're going to be a part of that thing. Know your history. Know how you move. Keep your head on a swivel. That's what I always tell you all. Now, of course, Broner filed a appeal so he can appeal the decision. The woman lawyer has filed paperwork to garnish Adrien Broner wages to satisfy the judgment. Now, I know you're saying, what wages does Adrien Broner has? Well, Al Heyman has that wages from his last fight because he's trying to help the young man. He's trying to give the young man a little bit at a time so he won't fuck it up, drink it up, or snort it up. Oh, yeah, snort it too. He's doing cocaine also, people. I'm sorry to say. I did my research. He's tootin' hootin', baby. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna say he's sucking on that glass dick, but I'm telling you right now, he's using cocaine. How he using it, I can't really tell you. Now, this is allegedly using cocaine. Let me make that clear. So, with that, I have to say the rest for today. For that, we're going to get into the rest today. You got to be there today at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. You must be there. That is a must. And with that, this has been another edition of Boxing Updates. This has been another edition from the LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Shout out to New Media Row. And shout out last but never least, all my subscribers. I love you. I do this for you. So show your love. Oh, show your love as I move on to the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.